Hey guys, it's me, Carly, coming at you with another video. And yesterday I posted my top 10 worst couples video. And I said I would post my top 10 best couples video in that video, along with the top worst 10 couples video. But when I looked at the time, it was like 48 minutes long already. And I didn't want to have to make you sit through like at least an hour of me rambling. But for those of you who did watch the video, thank you. And I decided to split it up into two parts, my top 10 worst couples and my top 10 best couples, because I know you have lives and I know you need to be doing stuff. So anyways, I thank you for watching my top 10 worst couples videos. And now I'm going to do my top 10 best couples. Now just to be aware, just so you guys are aware, these are couples. Some couples are canon and some couples are non-canon. And in this video, I will explain why I ship them. So without further ado, here are my top 10 best couples, and kicking off the list at number 10, Kara Olsen, or Kara and James Olsen from Supergirl. I just realized I put Superman, but well, whatever. But they're from Supergirl, and they're on my Tumblr page if you want to go check them out. And the reason I ship Kara and James so much is because of how much in common they have, the good build-up they had in season 1 before season 2 came and fucked it all up with slave-owning Mon-El. Slave-owning Mon-El. And yeah, I'm not gonna let that go because you replaced the black man with a slave owner. Yeah. On a show that you claim to be progressive, you give Kara a misogynistic, slave-owning love interest while sidelining a black male character. That's really wonderful. But anyway, and I also like them because Kara is coded as an immigrant because she's from the planet Krypton and grew up on a foreign. Earth is her second home planet because she was born on Krypton and for a majority of her life, and then she came down to Earth to look after Clark, but that didn't happen because in Earth time Clark is older than Kara, but not in Kryptonian times. How does that aging thing work? And Kara, being from another planet, as a little kid, she had trouble fitting in because she's bulletproof, which they don't know. They saw her save a baby out of a burning car and rip the door off its hinges, and she had to suppress her powers and just was basically made fun of as a little girl because she wasn't really normal until she was considered normal. Until she was like a teenager, and started to fit in more. And it helps that Kara's a white girl in this. She could be any color. It'd be interesting to see like an actual Muslim girl play, or a brown Muslim girl play Kara. So yeah. And the other thing is, I like her with James because James, in this iteration of Supergirl, is a black man, is an African American, and he went to school where he didn't see a lot of children who looked like him. He went to a predominantly white school. He was bullied because he had darker skin than the others. He was a brown skin boy, and as I said, he didn't fit in, and he felt like he was always in someone's shadow. And I felt like Kara and James, they had great, meaningful conversations. I mean, he was told by Commander Lane, Sam Lane, which is Lois and Lucy Lane's father, that he wasn't good enough for Lucy. He was angry and he was boxing a car, and Kara was angry at something with Kat, or I forgot what she was angry at, but some of it was Kat. And he was boxing a bag and she was boxing a car because, well, she's the girl of steel, so she needs something tough to box. Sorry, it's my grandma coming home. But anyway, and just to see them work up to building that relationship, because I felt like they were one of those couples that had their chemistry got better as the series progressed. To see them build up in like season 1 and then be like, nope, sorry, I want to focus on my career. And this is suspicious for Kara to be like, nope, sorry, I want to focus on myself before they were even given a real chance. It just makes me sad. And I find it heavily suspicious that they broke up after Mon-El was introduced. And then Kara just shits on that and says, oh, Mon-El was truly the first man I loved. And I was just like, he berated you and you were trying to help him get a job, and what does Mon-El do? He goes and fucks Eve Tessmacher in the closet of your work and eats candy and was a disrespectful little asshole to you. So the fact that you're supposed to be Supergirl is supposed to be a progressive show, and shit like that happens, I'm just like, no. So Kara and James not happening kind of turned me off to Supergirl. Lena and James is a really odd couple to put together, but hey, I'm not complaining. I don't know. I like them together. Let's see. But anyways, enough about Kara and James, because I'm going to be really sad. Probably not as sad as some of the other couples I'm going to talk about. My next ship. This one's a crack ship. It's another James ship. James from Supergirl. This one is James Olsen and Dinah Laurel Lance from Arrow. And I'm going to pretend that Siren X isn't a Nazi and that she was dating Earth X Guardian fighting against the Nazis. But the reasons I ship them is because I think that, I'm pretty sure Makad Brooks and Katie Cassidy are good friends, and I think they would have good chemistry together if they did actually play a couple. 2, they are loyal, honest, and decent people, and they want to do stuff, not just sit behind a desk or hide behind a camera or hide behind in a courtroom. They want to do stuff actively to help people and help their community. So that would be very fun to see them work together, and then they can both talk about what dicks their love interests were, because Oliver, as I said, was terrible to Laurel. And Kara, the whole Guardian thing, about when James became Guardian, it was like, oh no, you can't be a hero. I don't support this. Blah, 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 blah. But you'll train Mon-El, who does not give two shits about being a hero, but you won't help James become a hero. And it reminded me very much of how Oliver spoke to Laurel when she was becoming the Black Canary. Yeah. And these were just two that I thought would look cute together. And I'm really sad they didn't become a couple, because these two, they deserved so much better, and I'm very sad they didn't happen. But anyways, moving on to number 8. When it comes to being teams for Rory, there's Team Dean, Team Jess, and Team Logan. I am Team Logan. Number 8 of the ship, or number 8 on the ship list is Logan and Rory from Gilmore Girls. This is like pre-revival, because the reason I love Logan and Rory is because Logan Huntsberger acknowledges that he's a privileged white male, and he isn't afraid to push Rory to do new things, like in the episode You Jump, I Jump, Jack. He loves Rory for who she is. He isn't afraid to call Rory out on her privilege, and he lets Rory make her own choices, and he respects Rory a lot, so I really appreciate it. And I like how, I think one of my favorite times is when Rory and Logan are having sex for the first time with each other, and Logan is like, "Is this okay? Do you want me to go?" And Rory doesn't answer, and he's like, "Rory, do you want me to go?" So he asked twice before having sex with her, which is how you're supposed to do it. He isn't being mean to her. He's treating her so nicely. And he's just an overall positive, nice guy. I mean, he bought Luke's present for Lorelai, and Luke was being a grump, and he just is so sweet to Rory. This is pre-revival, and still in the post-revival, but the post-revival, they just shitted on him. And like, Amy Sherman Palladino just came and did a big hot shit on Logan. And, like, now he's with Odette. Rory is with Paul. Rory should have just married Logan because he was the one. Sorry, literary shippers, but yeah. Logan was the one for Rory. And now the fact that Rory in the revival was cheating on Paul and she cheated on Paul for 2 years and kept forgetting to dump him. And Logan is cheating on Odette, his new fiance, with Rory, and they're like fucking each other while they're cheating on their partners. That's like, no. Logan, when he met Rory, or when Rory said, "Hey, I don't know if I can do this casual dating thing. This either has to be a real thing or we need to end this." It's just awful. Sorry, but it's just really terrible and awful that they do that because Logan in the original Gilmore Girls series was like, "Hey, I can make this commitment. If I say I can make a commitment, I will make a commitment." Because he was ready, more than willing to commit to Rory. And just to see that being crapped on because he's going between girls, that's not a very good choice of words. And Rory is just cheating on Paul, and she's going between guys. That's like not okay. That just makes them look very slutty. And I've said in my previous video that Rory had the worst character development. She had a character digression. And Logan's character development went out the window. So, yeah, they just ruined them post-revival. I just hate it. I'm like, why do you have to shit on my couples? Like, they're fine the way they are. Don't touch them. Ah! Now another couple I'll probably never see again. Because now I'm moving on to number 7. Paige Townsend with no D. And Rainer Devon from Famous in Love. At first, it took me a while to like Rainer because I thought he was just an asshole. But then you find out that he's an alcoholic. The man he thought was his father wasn't his father, and he turned out the dad he's known turns out to be a gay man, which nothing is wrong with being gay. It's just like you can't have a baby with someone if you're gay, just pointing out biological facts. And he learned that his dad was also an alcoholic, and his mom, Nina, was fucking his best friend. Sorry for swearing, but it's true. Like, you're banging your mom is banging your best friend. Like, hell no. I would, like, probably disown my parents if they were fucking one of my best friends, which they're not, because that'd be really gross and creepy. And I always thought that Paige was, like, way too good for the guy she was with. But now I'm to a point where I do love Paige and Rainer for several reasons. Because, again, I always got the impression I wasn't really supposed to like Rainer. But I like how that if one of them's in trouble, they're there for each other. They have each other's backs. Like, when Paige still stuck by Rainer's side, even when Rainer had a meltdown and, like, punched out a paparazzi, and because he discovered who his real dad was and got drunk the next day, and they had a press conference, and Rainer and Paige was doing her best to comfort Rainer the next day. So that's what I loved. Then in season 2, the scene pisses me off, was when Paige brings Jake to a party that Rainer is hosting to help him get producers, and she said she wasn't going to drink, but Jake pressured Paige into drinking, so she is taking shots and whatnot, and she's stumbling out of the building drunk, and, like, Jake, who is supposed to be Paige's boyfriend, loses a drunk Paige in the crowd, and Rainer finds her hammered, takes her home, and just takes care of her while she's drunk and helps her through her hangover, which I thought was really sweet, and he's just helping her get through her drunkenness, which is super funny and cute and sweet and nice, and he's just being nothing but nice to her, and because he himself has had many hangovers because Rainer's an alcoholic. And I just really wish I could have got to see more of them because season 3 has been canceled. And I don't get to see Tangy and Paige become friends, which I'm bitter about. But that's what fan fictions are for. So if I want them to become friends, I can make it happen in a fan fiction. So there, haha. And it was probably one of the only ships I trust if Marlene King put it together. Because I've said many times before that I don't trust her. But speaking of Famous in Love, because the next two after Rainer and Paige are Famous in Love, Tangy and Jordan, or Jordan and Tangy from Famous in Love, are number 6 on the list. Rainer and Paige are number 7. But I love Tangy and Jordan together. First, Rainer grew on me as a character. Paige and Tangy are my 2 favorite female characters on the show. And Rainer and Jordan are my 2 favorite characters. So if they were all to date each other, that'd be fine with me. But Tangy and Jordan, because I like them because they're a beautiful black love couple. And they're a beautiful black couple. They are I love how loyal they are to each other, and in spite of everything that's happened, they still found a way to work with their issues because that's what you do when you love someone. And despite Tangy still accepted Jordan after she found out he killed a man, but that was because Jordan killed someone in self-defense. And Tangy was still accepting of him because he did it to save his mom. And then it took a while for Tangy to get over the fact that Jordan was fucking Nina, which is Rainer's mom. And it was just beautiful and how they unfolded. And of all the stuff they've been through, they're still loyal to each other. And even when they were dating different people, they still cared about each other because Jordan hurt his hand and Tangy was there to help him out and fix it up. And yes, there was still sexual tension between them, but how is there not going to be sexual tension between two people who used to love each other? Who knows? But anyway, I just love how their relationship progressed and got better throughout the series as they grew as people. And I think that's how a relationship should work. Not just slapping two people together and saying, hey, these are a couple and they're not going to have any growth or development outside of each other and then get together. So they're a healthy couple. We need more. And I'm sad they're not going to be together. Blah. Okay, so this is the last famous in love couple that I have on this list. It's non-canon. Paige and Cassie. I was kind of hoping they'd go the bi route with Paige. Although it would be pretty funny. It'd be pretty funny if they made Paige queer/bi, because on Pretty Little Liars, my favorite character is Paige McCullers, who's a queer/lesbian person, lesbian woman. And it'd be even funnier that she has two characters named Paige. But yeah, so Bella Thorne, and Bella Thorne is also bisexual. She came out as bisexual. But I like Cassie and Paige because I love their friendship and how Paige cares about Cassie. Sometimes I don't always like Cassie because of how jealous she can get. And I didn't like how Cassie didn't go to the premiere with Paige because she was doing someone else. But anyway, their hugs, the way they are there for each other, the way Cassie still was supportive of Paige after Paige cheated on Jake, which he totally deserved. And Paige was still there for Cassie, despite the fact that time Cassie ghosted her. And now I'm making it sound really unappealing and awful by talking about it. And I love how Paige is always trying to include Cassie to not make her feel bad. And it's just really sweet and nice. And Cassie was also there to listen to Paige, and Paige was there to listen to Cassie, and it was just really sweet. And if they had worked through their issues, I think, and made Cassie like bisexual, they could have worked through their issues. I'm going to talk about my femlash ships later in this video. But moving on to number 4, another fallen couple, Devon and Raven from That's So Raven, or Raven's Home. I'm so glad they went the route with Devon and Raven having children together, because I'm just sad they're divorced. But it kind of breaks the trope of best friends being together. Plus Orlando Brown looks a hot damn mess these days, so... And he's kind of creepy looking. But I do like Devon and Raven because Devon accepts Raven for her weirdness and quirkiness. And Raven accepts Devon because he's calm and has nice ears. Yes, that's a legit thing. Raven had a vision about a man with a nice ear in the original series. And even though they're a broken up couple, I think they are one of those couples that when they get together, they still act like they're married. Because they definitely be fucking. They still fuck from time to time. They're still having sex. Well, at least I think they're having sex, even though they're divorced, because he must have really good dick. Although, that's kind of ironic, because in the series I was kind of hoping they'd go the lesbian route with Raven, because in real life Raven is a lesbian. And I was also hoping that Raven and Chelsea would get together. I didn't initially ship Raven and Chelsea in the original series, but now they're giving off like queer vibes. I mean, well, the kids refer to their each other's moms as aunts, but Raven and Chelsea living together and like parenting their kids together, and Booker and Levi act like brothers. It's just so beautiful. And I'm just sad that Devon and Raven couldn't work out. And Raven tying Devon's tie, they still have a lot of chemistry together. And Raven just smiling at Devon and working out. And Devon still flirts, and they kind of still have great banter. And I'm really, really sad that they didn't end up together. Why must you ruin my ship's universe? Why? I don't like you anymore. But anyway, that's enough on Devon and Raven. Moving on to number 3. Hold on. I need a moment. Number 3, Sean and Angela. Sean Hunter and Angela Moore from Boy Meets World. Before Girl Meets World took a huge shit on Angela, these two, a gorgeous interracial couple, and Angela was great rep for young, dark-skinned, black girls who watched Boy Meets World. They saw themselves in Angela. They saw a black woman being desired. They saw someone look like them being desired. They saw someone woke and wore different hairstyles. And Angela wasn't the one to conform to Eurocentric beauty standards, which I've said in my other videos about Girl Meets World many, many times. And I liked how, despite some of their issues that Sean and Angela had, Angela was still willing to be patient with Sean. Angela was the first girl Sean gave up his 2-week rule on. And Angela also had a 2-week rule. And they gave up the two-week rule to try a real relationship. And Sean, throughout the entire series, Sean was the reason they were broken up, because Sean wanted to meet new people. Angela respected that. And they dated other people and worked out their issues. And then in season 7, apparently Angela's mom leaves, has a fear of being abandoned, and has a fear of abandoning Sean. And everyone is like, you're not going to find anyone as great as Angela. Which Corey said that. Yeah, Corey Matthews, who let me just say that Corey and Angela had a whole episode dedicated to them becoming friends. A Corey and Angela friendship. And then Girl Meets Hurricane comes and takes it all away and shits on it and writes Corey completely out of character. And I totally think that Angela should have had Sean's baby. That's just me. The other thing, though, is that Angela, or they wanted a strong relationship like what Corey and Topanga had. But I thought what Sean and Angela had was beautiful because they didn't know each other since childhood. They had to work through their issues of being abandoned. And Sean had to work through his issues because his whole life he's seen that relationships, what his parents' relationship was like, was very dysfunctional. And Angela was there for Sean through tough times. Like the time that Sean became an alcoholic and pushed Angela into a door. And he stopped drinking because he got really sad that he hurt Angela. And then just to see that taken away was just so heart-wrenching to me. And I just can't get over it. And they had an understanding of each other. They both loved poetry. Their moms abandoned them. They were there for each other no matter what. And Sean even said, like, I used to be able to sit in silence with Angela. And we could just knowing that the other person was there with you, that you loved, was enough. It's just so effing heart-wrenching to see an interracial couple broken up because the new white girl needs a daddy. And yeah, I keep bringing that up and I really need to stop. And I will never get over Sean and Angela not being endgame. And yeah, I plan on maybe writing a couple. Maybe I should write a few fan fictions about Sean and Angela's daughter being best friends with Riley because I find Maya really annoying, but yeah. Okay. They're number 3 on the list. Okay. And finally, or number 2. This is probably going to sound really cliche, but I don't care. Clois. Clark and Lois from Man of Steel. I love the Man of Steel movie. I love Henry and Amy Adams, or Henry Cavill and Amy Adams as Clark and Lois, because Clark in this iteration of Man of Steel, this iteration of Clark, he is beautiful, or he's soft-spoken. He is just a nice guy, doesn't want attention for doing nice things. He cooks, and he treats Lois like a princess, and Lois isn't like, oh, you're Superman? Clark and Superman are the same person. Time to go jump out a window. And, they just, look at them. Aren't they beautiful? They're so gorgeous together. And Lois is an experienced reporter, and she's like a little bit older than Clark. And she figured out Clark's secret right away. And the reason I like the fact that she figured out his secret is that we actually got to see her investigate. We got to see her check out Clark, ask Clark about his situation, accept him to the Daily Planet. Like, Lois Lane, welcome to the planet. Is the best line ever, because it has a double meaning, because one, the place where Clark and Lois work is at the Daily Planet. Excuse me, my throat's a little dry. And the place, and Clark is an alien from literally another planet, and Lois accepts that Clark is different because for all of Clark's life, he's had to move from job to job. He's had to be careful about his powers. He wants to help people, but doesn't want to stop helping. Or he doesn't want to stop helping people, but he doesn't want to get exposed. So he kind of has to like come out, if he, a Superman to the world. And Lois is one of the few that knows his secrets. Risked going to jail for him. And it's just very beautiful. Their relationship and how it progressed. And then Justice League came and shitted on that, kind of. Not shitted on it in a bad way. It's just like they made Lois in Justice League seem kind of dick hungry. Like, oh, you smell nice. And then that whole conversation she has with Martha. Oh, you're a thirsty girl, which is all Joss Whedon. And it just seems like that if Lois, to honor Clark's memory, would be serving as a link between the military, because Lois, for those of you who don't know, Lois's father, Sam Lane, is a general, and her sister is also in the military, her sister Lucy. And Clark works with the Justice League, and Lois is a reporter. So the way they did not utilize, I don't like how they used Lois. They could have utilized her that way, but they didn't. And she could serve as a link. And it was just, and be doing actual investigative work. No, but they reduced her to writing fluff pieces in Justice League, which I thought was terrible. Because Lois is a smart and fierce and strong woman. And yeah. And then Clois, one of my favorite scenes is where Lois is sitting in the bathtub. It's a classy scene. And Clark, other than the fact that he gets in the bathtub with shoes, he's like, oh, I was going to surprise you. Cook you dinner. I was going to surprise you. He brings his girl flowers, and he was going to cook for her. And it was just so nice. And I like how they can have they're on the same playing field in the sense of hard work and being investigative journalists, and Lois doesn't look like a stupid fucking idiot in this movie. Sorry for swearing. Because she knows who Clark is. Like, oh, look, see, I'm wearing glasses. It's like, oh, I'm Carly Ann Howard, and now I'm like someone else. Can you tell who I am? I don't know who I am. But yeah. And another one of my favorite Clois moments is when Clark, after he's on his knees, after he snaps Zod's neck and kills Zod because Zod was about to incinerate a family, and Clark is just crying and like he's screaming, he's feeling anguish, and he's just feeling a flood of emotions. And Lois just takes him and just, it's like, Clark is almost like a little boy when he hugs Lois. And he's hugging Lois, and he's on his knees, and he's crying, and Lois is just there comforting him. And I love the way they comfort each other, and their height difference is everything. And it was just, I just love that couple so much. It's my favorite iteration, and I might watch Smallville Clovis someday, but yeah. But Lois, Amy Adams is an amazing actress. And I do think Henry and Amy have great chemistry together. But they're only my number 2. But of course, my number 1 ship, and it's not going to surprise a lot of you people, is West Allen. And no, they are not siblings. Yes, they grew up in the same house. Yes, Barry sees Joe as a father figure. Yes, Joe calls Barry his son because Joe raised them that way, but he did not adopt Barry. He did not foster Barry, and they're not incestuous. And if you can ship Thor and Loki, who are actual adopted siblings, or ship um, Derek and Casey from Life with Derek, who are step siblings, or ship an aunt and a nephew who are biologically related, or Wincest, or Swan Queen, then y'all can shut the hell up and you don't get to talk, because what you really mean is you don't like to see a black woman be with Barry. And I love West Allen for so many reasons. And I've talked about it before, but I'll reiterate. One, it showcases a healthy interracial couple. And as a biracial woman, I want to see healthy biracial couples succeed. I just want to see healthy couples in general succeed. Two, Barry, they have a childhood friendship that they've built up, and they've actually dated other people and were in love, and they grew in love. Three, Iris has always been by Barry's side, no matter what. Without her, she wouldn't be the Flash. He wouldn't be the Flash, excuse me. And the way they love each other, and they're just beautiful. And their height difference, Candace is so tiny and Grant is like 6 foot, and I just love their height difference. I'm a sucker for couples where the guy is taller than the girl, because I'm tall myself, and the girl can just like lay her head on the guy's chest. I love it. And I like forehead kisses. Their hugs, the way they grab each other's face, the way Iris is able to calm Barry down. The sound of Iris's voice to Barry is that he loves her no matter what. Is that it will always bring her home. It's the sound of home. It's music to its ears. Iris has always believed in Barry. And I just absolutely love it. And what else do I love? Sorry, I'm on my phone. I'm taking notes. I took notes because I posted this on Tumblr. And I love how terrible of a gift giver Iris is. And Candace even said that Iris is a terrible gift giver. Like, Barry got a replica of her mom's wedding band because he knew how much it meant to Iris. And then the second season, what did he get her? He got her something really nice too. Or he went back in time and made a video of Eddie to help Iris come to grips with Eddie's death and help her get closure. And then in the third season, he got her apartment with a lease, and all Iris bought him was a telescope, which was probably her best present, a wallet, and a shirt. Yeah. I love you, Iris, but you're not a good gift giver. Good gift giver, but you're good at a lot of other things. And not to be weird or anything, but can you imagine, like, how nice how Iris is getting really nice sex with Barry? Because, I mean, he can vibrate, so she's basically got a human vibrator, which is kind of a superficial reason to ship them, but that's just the perk of being with Barry. And then Barry falls in love with Iris all over again. And when he loses his memory. And even when she's with Savitar becomes Barry in a way. And she saved Barry's life from Savitar, because Savitar was Barry, a time remnant of Barry. And it also, and I'm going to brag to Snowberry shippers because I just feel really petty. And I'm thinking about making another rant video on Danielle Panabaker because she just drives me nuts. But when it came time, when it is like, when Iris is in danger, he's the first one to go running to her side. He's the first one, like, Iris in Untouchable, where he gets touched by Jorgen, or whatever his name is, she's about to disintegrate into a pile of sand, and he's like, well, you call me, okay? And he just sounds so worried, and he's holding her, and it's just so natural. And Grant and Candace have great chemistry, and they kiss, and the way she stands on her tiptoes, I can just go on and on about West Allen, but I probably shouldn't. And Barry called Iris his lightning rod. Oh my gosh. Iris is the one who activates Barry's powers. And now they're married, and they better get that redo wedding. Okay, Flash writers, West Allen better get a redo wedding. Because you advertise the crossover as a West Allen wedding event only for it to be interrupted by Nazis and stupid Olicity. So give Iris her just desserts, because she needs a redo. She needs a father-daughter dance. I need to see Cisco dancing like an idiot. And also, give Iris some female friends that aren't named Caitlin Snow. Because seriously, watching them interact is painful. And knowing Danielle Panabaker's shadiness towards Candace makes me not like them all the more. But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. But I just love West Allen. I will always adore this couple. And this video is like 47 minutes long or whatever. But anyways, here are my honorable mentions. Jordan and Paige from Famous in Love. I crack ship them. I also crack ship Tangy and Paige, because they're my two favorite characters. Raven and Beast Boy from Teen Titans. Laurel and Nissa. They are actually on my Femlash/queer couple list. And Starfire and Nightwing/Robin 1 or Dick Grayson from Teen Titans. Other crack ships that I forgot to add down below are Ryarkle from Girl Meets World, Riley and Farkle, because I will forever ship them, because they have amazing chemistry and they bring out the best in each other. And Lukaya and Zayadora, which Lucas and Maya and Zay and Isadora smackle. And I will forever be bitter that those couples didn't happen. And another one of my Femlash couples that are kind of an honorable mention, and I'm just making this up as I go along, Smackle and Riley too. But that's just me. Anyways, guys, this is it for this video. And if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. I'm open to suggestions, so please be respectful. And tell me your worst and best couples. I want to know what they are. And, anyways, thanks for watching and have a good one.